Hey, it's Todd Ault, everybody. Welcome to the show, Risk On. This is the show about risk. I am the executive chairman of BitNow Holdings, the chairman and CEO of Ault & Company. I could read a laundry list. I'm also the CEO of Ault Asset Management. Is that right? Yeah. A bunch of other stuff. We got a special guest on the show today, Manny Alicandro. I said that right. He is a digital asset lawyer. He's a crypto lawyer. He's a lawyer in New York. He does all kinds of deals. And he's agreed to come on the show because he's a masochist. No, just kidding. Because he loves us. Anyways, I know this guy. He's doing a lot of deals in digital. This will be fun. We're going to talk everything crypto. We're going to talk FTX, talk about rumors of them buying Robinhood. We're going to talk about what it means to synthetically wrap Bitcoin, borrow, and leverage. And as Warren Buffett says, leverage can make a smart man look stupid. Speaking of smart man, Jason Bartholomew.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, buddy?
How's your day going?
My day's great.
Having a great day as well.
I am in a good mood.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Market continues to deliver me things that, you know, when you think about Mr. Market, you think about Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, really kind of my, if I would have listened to him, I'd be a lot richer. But I finally have listened to him over the last, say, 5 years or so. But when I was a kid, obviously, I reached out to him, got a lot of annual reports. I think I was 11 years old. And I read The Intelligent Investor, which talks about the market delivering you things like General Motors at $40 or IBM at 39. And you have no obligation to swing the bat. You don't have to swing. There's no called strikes. And I noticed that a lot of people are leaving this idea aside that when you buy a piece of paper, you own a business. Now, arguments people would say about me is, well, you're raising capital, so you're diluting shareholders. I wasn't a seller of my stock, so we did tell the market for years that BitNow would raise money. We've just put it in every filing we could. It's in every single headline in the filing. Anytime we talk about raising capital, we say we're going to raise more. But somehow people think that we didn't say that, even though we said it for 5 or 6 straight years. So, and then they attack me personally as being a liar, even though it's in every single filing, and the average person can't read the filings because they just don't click. They spend more time focused on their vacations than they do their investment portfolio. But I do not. I spend time on my investment portfolio, and right now, right down the middle, a bunch of pitches coming my way. And the reason why I like that is because Bitcoin is all wrapped up in shit. All these deals where people borrowed against it and leveraged and did the whole Celsius thing and we'll stake people and I'll give you my Bitcoin, you give me 17%, all bullshit. Right out of Buffett's book, right? Right out of Benjamin Graham, right out of Securities Analysis, all nonsense. And that leverage gives people an opportunity, and therefore I'm taking it, man. Speaking of opportunities, Skyla, what's up with your hair?
So I saw this like new hack because it takes me forever to curl my hair, but then I just put it in 3 different clumps and curled it, and it like looks so nice. And it only took me like 5 minutes, so I was like, I think I'm gonna do this more.
Good for you.
Yeah,
you look happy and radiant.
I got some sun this weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
was that the weekend you stayed here?
Yeah, I did like nothing, just kind of hung out. We Roland and I went swimming, like lap swimming, because we started doing that. For
we're off to
exercise.
Ohio this weekend, so I'm sure you're prepped for Ohio. I mean, what great things could happen in Ohio?
I think it'll be chill, which like I'm excited for. It's
I was
not gonna
born
be
there.
Like too
Just to
crazy.
be clear, I was born there. I was born in Ohio.
Oh, so it can't be chill.
But I moved out when I was 4.
Definitely can't be chill if you were born there.
Hey, don't forget this Thursday, one of my favorite podcasts ever done. William Rempel, the writer of The Gambler. He's an investigative journalist and reporter, wrote several books, a biography on Kirk Kerkorian, one of the men I most admire in the whole world, who went to a Greek church in Las Vegas because he was Armenian. There was no Armenian church. This is someone you cannot forget. And to me, The Gambler is one of my favorite books ever written. And I got to figure out how to give books away. Now, my producer, Christy, was sweet enough to get them for me, and I had William Rempel sign a bunch of them. We are going to give a giveaway this week. I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm going to give you a signed copy. Let's roll the clip, and then we're on to Manny, the digital lawyer.
Here's a man who was a heroic wartime figure, an aviator, flying planes in a place where there were no navigational devices. They flew at night so they could use the stars. I mean, he was a pioneer of aviation.
Pioneer.
He owned every one of the big three auto companies. He changed the face of Las Vegas. He introduced something called the leisure industry.
No, I think people don't realize that there was no big businesses that owned casinos until the rules were changed for him and Howard Hughes, effectively.
Well, they changed the rules.
They did change the rules, right?
With Kirk and with Howard Hughes, you had people who didn't need the mob's money. They brought their own. They were their own banker.
Sure.
And so that changed the rules. That changed the tenor. It changed everything.
We're back. Don't miss that podcast. Manny Alicandro. He's an attorney and author who focuses on crypto and blockchain. I've gotten to know him over the last couple months. He's a deal guy.
We like deal guys.
We like deal guys. Manny, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.
Manny, where do you call home?
I'm in New York City, fortunately or unfortunately, but that's where I am.
I think it's perfect.
Perfect.
Because we happen to have a hotel opening in New York City in September, and then we're going to be doing a special night, which Manny will be attending. We'll be doing a special night, a one-night-only event, a dinner with a very famous market guy, yet to be announced. I'm giving you prep. Now, it'll be simulcast. You're going to be able to watch it live. Manny will be there. But you will not be able to attend. It is an invite-only dinner. But some of you may get an invitation. I know, Manny, you will have an invitation. You'll be one of the 300 special guests that are invited to be there. Manny, I was looking this morning at, I can never say it right. Is it called A3, the company that defaulted? Excuse me, 3 Arrows defaulted. I'm just curious. Oh, by the way, just to be clear, everyone, today I bought the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I believe they may be the first ETF approved, and they're trading at about a 30% discount to Bitcoin. So for full disclosure, I'm long Grayscale. But the Voyager so let me go through this, Manny, to you. After they might do so, Voyager Digital's operating subsidiary, Voyager Digital LLC, issued a default notice to a major crypto fund called 3 Arrows Capital for failure to make the required payment on previously disclosed loan of 15,250 Bitcoin, worth about and USDC worth 350 million. Voyager intends to pursue recovery of 3AC in its discussions with advisors as legal remedies are available. I wonder what you know about all the synthetics and all the stuff happening at Celsius, putting pressure on this, what they call crypto winter.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think the market right now is literally upside down, okay? I think this whole phenomenon of how can I make money, or how can I get a loan, or how can I get yield if I never sell my Bitcoin? So this goes back to the hodlers, right? I have Bitcoin, I'm never selling it, but I want to capitalize on this crazy appreciation to 60, 65,000, whatever it went to. How could I have used that asset in a beneficial way where I'm not just holding it, I'm getting something for it while I'm holding it? What happened, I think, and I think there's going to be a lot of regulation from this. I mean, Gensler was on, the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, who was one of my former professors at MIT. He was on CNBC with Jim Cramer today, and he pretty much doubled down that Bitcoin was a commodity, and he wouldn't opine on anything else. So the heavy-handed regulation is going to come in. I think, Todd, what we're seeing is you come from the world of stock. If you buy stock, sell stock, tremendous regulation, SEC, right? Government action, government regulators, the state, right? In the crypto world, it's effectively unregulated. And that's a problem with regard to everything you're talking about. What do I mean? Well, if I gave Alex Mashinsky 10 Bitcoin, and I use that to hypothecate a loan, is there any regulation that would control that relationship? And the answer is no. It's just a bilateral agreement between him and me. Now, what does he do with that Bitcoin on the other side of it? Well, apparently, from what's reported, right, and how the model's going to work is he's going to take that Bitcoin from you, from me, from everybody else, and then lend that to some big trading desks, right? Question is, does this model always work? Well, economically, when the market's like a hockey stick, you bet. If I get a loan of 30 grand and my Bitcoin 60 grand, yeah, no problem. But did anybody think, what happens if I tendered my Bitcoin to him, essentially hypothecating a loan, Bitcoin 60, I get 30, now Bitcoin's 20. What happens? Where's my Bitcoin? Who has it? What regulation controls? Now, I have legal recourse. I could sue him, but like, so what? I'm going to get in line like everybody else. Now, you know, Celsius was fined. Effectively, they received a cease and desist order, to be clear, from the state of New Jersey. They registered as a money transmitter recently. Same thing with BlockFi. BlockFi got fined $100 million by the SEC and the alphabet soup of different states. Why? Because they were offering a security. The product they offered was a security. And the SEC came in and said, you're offering a security, and ultimately they settled. The crazy part about it is they're holding tens of billions of dollars in assets in custody, and their valuations respectively, talking about deals, we're talking about 3.5 times unicorns here, $3 to $4 billion respectively for BlockFi and for Celsius. So if you think about that stuff, you have Andreessen Horowitz money there, you have really significant venture money. This model was never well thought out. This model was never tested, but it just took off with the boom and the appreciation of Bitcoin. So,
wow, I don't know that I could have set up what I was saying better than you said it. That was incredible. And the reason why I say that is because we had not spoken before this call. Wow. So that goes back to my thesis that if you're able to identify value during this massive disruption, sort of blood in the street, crypto winter, I always make the most money when things are effed up, when people do stupid shit like they're doing now. And I mean stupid shit on equity prices. I mean stupid shit on inflation. I saw something completely troubling today. And I want to get your commentary on this because you may not be as old as me, but you are a lawyer. You're sophisticated. You've been around a while. I don't think you're as old as me. But then again, I'm getting old fast. American Airlines regional carrier offers to pay pilots triple to pick up fares in July and August. So that transitory inflation thing we were talking about 6 months ago on this show. I cannot understand how there is a massive shortage of workers. Mm-hmm. When I go, Manny, to restaurants, and as I do frequently, even though I'm losing weight, I still frequent restaurants. I think you've eaten at a couple with me, actually. I hear from the owners that hiring people is becoming impossible. Manny, what are your thoughts on what's happening in the universe that is this inflationary number as I see oil at $109 a barrel?
It's absolutely insane. Interesting that you're mentioning that. When I went to Crypto Bahamas, I had a flight from New York JFK to the Bahamas, and my flight was delayed. And the reason it was delayed is they could not find the pilot, which I thought was an interesting way to kind of tell me there was a delay or why there was a delay. But then they clarified there was a pilot shortage. So they had to kind of beg, borrow, and steal pilots who they otherwise were not going to use to get me to the Bahamas. So I was delayed like an hour and a half, okay? Effectively, what's happening in New York as well is there's a lot of restaurants that cannot open because then they cannot hire staffs. So famous chef Jean-Georges is opening a very famous, a newly famous, I should say, or will be famous restaurant. It's going to be in New York City at the South Street Seaport, right next to his restaurant there. And it's going to essentially be this really high-end food court and other fancy restaurants. He cannot hire enough people to open that thing. They keep delaying to open. As a matter of fact, I was there the other day. I passed by. There's a sign on the door that says, we will pay you a $500 bonus if you take a job with us. Now, we're talking kitchen help, We're talking about sous chefs. We're not talking about a Michelin star chef. We're talking about working for him and with him, which is a cool thing in and of itself in terms of an opportunity if you work in the service industry. We have to pay people $500 bonuses. I mean, it's absolutely insane where we have labor shortages. I went to get coffee the other day and at a place where in a financial district where I'm at, and I went to order the coffee, and the barista said, "Well, we're done for the day." And I said, "But yeah, you're open. You didn't close, right? You close at like 6 o'clock. It's only 3 o'clock." They said, "No, we've reached our capacity." I go, "Capacity of what?" And they're like, "We're done." And I'm like, "All right, thank you." You know, I would have spent $6 on a cup of coffee, which is probably worth $2, but anyway, or not even. But they just lost my business by telling me they've reached capacity to make coffee.
Yeah, the disruption is sick.
Yeah.
You guys, if you have capital, you need to think it through. You need to think about what businesses you want to buy. Put the stock out of your mind for a second. Do you want to own a particular business in a particular category? I could not. I don't know that I could be happier right now. Can you feel the aura for me? Like,
Yeah.
do I seem? We had dinner last night.
Yeah,
Did
for
I
sure.
tell you, like, I could not be happier in the state of where we are in terms of having capital, money to deploy, and I realize too when I see people bashing us purchasing control of the singing machine,
Right.
And they haven't even done any research. It's like astonishing to me, and it reminds me of the .com era. History repeats itself so much in the marketplace. I'm so convinced at 52 years old that Benjamin Graham and Warren Buffett and these cycles are so right that they continue to repeat themselves over and over again. Someone paid $3 million more for my same house in my neighborhood than I paid a year and a half ago. They paid $3 million more than I paid for my house. This is insanity, and it just keeps. By the way, there's nowhere to put the money. And I want to say something, Manny. I apologize because I'm lucky enough to have you on the program, but I want to. Jason said something last night that I thought was critically important. Jason, let's go over this, and I want Manny to chime in here. Let's go over the raising of rates, the hysteria of how we're going to have 8, 9, 10, 15 rate increases.
Dude.
And then your thesis for 2023 and where they can really take this. Because obviously something's going to have to give, right?
Nick, put this on the big board on the back here. So yeah, usdebtclock.org, current national debt, $30.543 trillion. And Mr. Powell and all the pundits think...
Can you leave that up?
Yeah.
Thanks.
We're just going to raise rates. Hold on one second. We're going to raise rates unlimited, 6 to 8 times. Goldman, a lot of the analysts are saying.
Right.
But I mean, let's think about this for a minute. The more you raise rates, the more interest you have to pay on the U.S. national debt. That's a lot of pain. And what happens is when you start raising rates even more, then quantitative tightening is occurring, and you have massive amounts of revolving credit card debt from U.S. families, the households. It's an all-time high, $1.1 trillion in U.S. revolving credit card debt. Student loan debt, I see Biden is going to make some of his promises true. He's going to cut some student loan debt, like 800.
That's an inflationary idea.
Yeah, for sure. But when you think about the energy costs and the Build Back Better, process, I don't think we're doing too well on that. They like to blame Putin, but let's face it.
I was listening to the Dakota senator in talking to Powell saying that the average person in Dakota is spending $600 more, not a year, but a month.
Yeah.
In North Dakota.
So
what does it cost to pay to live in California?
Can you imagine?
Oh my God!
No, let's ask Manny.
Oh, Manny, you live in New York. Tell us what's it like? I mean, what's your thoughts on what we just talked about with what seems to be not sustainable inflation?
No, it's absolutely insane. It's kind of like IKEA, right? Everybody loves going to IKEA. You could get something really cool packed in a box, but you need an Allen key. If there's no Allen key in that box, it's kind of hard to find an Allen key wrench.
Yeah.
And you can't put the thing together. It's like our tools at our disposal, or the government's tools, don't work. It's like you need to you need to like zap the economy back to life, and we're trying to like use some kind of smelling salt. It's just not going to work. The rents in New York right now, go figure this, 8% of people in New York, as reported in the New York Post like about a month ago, 8% are back to work full time. But yet, at the same time, rents for a one-bedroom apartment are $4,000 a month. But you'll see when you come here, Midtown is dead. By Grand Central, Midtown's dead.
Jeez. There's
nobody in Midtown. Nobody goes to work full time. They go to work maybe 2-3 days a week, if that. So New York's very spotty, but the rents are the highest they've been. And I think it's probably trying to claw back from nobody paid their rent during COVID. We had eviction moratoriums for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. So rents are really high. And I don't think it's sustainable, right? Because I think people will say, you know what, I'm just not going to go to work. If one, there's a lot of crime and violence in New York right now. People feel unsafe. And two, the taxes are high, obviously. Three, now rents are astronomically high. There was a guy who ran for office in New York years ago, and his whole moniker was, the rent's too damn high. And no matter what the issue was, he would always say, the rent's too damn high. And right now, clearly, the rent's too damn high, without a doubt.
Right.
My thesis is they're going to take too much pain here in the end of 22, and they're just going to say,
I want to bring attention to your thesis, so everyone listen to what Jason's thoughts are, because if you watch this show, we have been pretty right. Now, we are wrong lots of times, but in this topic, we've been pretty right. Jason, let's take him through your thesis.
Well, I just think that if the Fed continues to raise rates, let's say Powell's going to talk. Let's back up just a little bit. So economic data tomorrow. Let me look at my calendar real quick. All right, so tomorrow, for example, Tuesday, June 28th, we have consumer confidence. That number will come in. Likely going to be bearish there. I don't think consumer confidence is going to come in at what they're expecting.
Was the lowest Michigan ever, right?
Yeah, then Wednesday, Powell speaks. And guess what else comes in Wednesday? GDP numbers.
Yeah.
GDP numbers come out Wednesday. Powell's going to speak. I think they're pigeonholed. I think they could raise rates another 100 bips, but I just think there's too much pain involved, pain and suffering. Here's the thing. It gets very political. The midterms are in November, okay? It looks by all accounts, based on what's going on, that the GOP is probably going to sweep the House and the Senate.
Right.
If these guys on the left want any chance to compete in the midterms, they're going to have to unwind this. I just don't think they're going to keep being able to raise rates. But the problem is they're running out of time. So if they continue to raise rates and Powell bumps it up another 100 bips, and there's more pain and suffering because the energy policies of this administration are not very pro-American. We rely heavily on foreign energy and foreign oil, which is a lot different than the last administration.
Let me ask you a question. Is that a talking point? Because the U.S. is still one of the leading producers of oil, though.
They are, but if the last administration, the Orange Man was actually a net exporter of oil.
Right. By the way, I just want to point out, if it's either mashed potato brains or Orange Man, just so we're clear, you universally insult both presidents.
Yeah, mashed potato brains now.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I get a lot of people about mashed potato brains, and I just want to say that you universally, someone said that Donald Trump's. Bill Maher said Donald Trump's father was an orangutan or something. I don't know, whatever. Okay. I didn't say that. That was Bill Maher, and I know you sued him, Donald, so let's be good. I never said that. I'm a fan. But, I was also, by the way, Joe Biden used to be anti-abortion.
Yeah.
It's strange to me how weird things are now. I got a little bit into the abortion conversation. I have an older daughter who happens to be incredibly smart. I have a younger daughter who's even smarter than all of us. And I had this conversation that it's a state issue. By the way, this thing is so political. Like, people get all so upset about it that they just they can't have. I was trying to have a constitutional argument. I'm pro-choice, so we're clear. I don't think up until a certain point that we should tell a woman what to do with her body at all. I don't think we should make them get a vaccine. I don't think we should tell them they can't get an abortion. I do think there's a point in time where life can be sustainable outside the womb, and there's a point in time where we have to say, hey, okay, you've had your chance. You had 12 weeks, 16 weeks. You had something, right? I just wish that we could have a rational world where it's not all this way or it's all that way. I mean, by the way, it would be nice if there was a rational world about me, because I have built some companies that have sold for a lot of money, and there's either people that love me or they think I'm a douchebag. I mean, it's not any. There's can there be some in between here, like just in the middle, like just a little bit, like not. I mean, the funny part about it is I read things about myself. I think you guys know that I took a company public last year that I'm the largest owner of, or I raised money for a SPAC. People. What I'm pointing out is, why am I using myself as an example? Because I could care less what people think of me. Why am I using that? Is because people are so extremist. They're like on the one hand or the other. And I pointed out to my daughter, abortion is still legal in lots of states. But it's the communities that elect the officials in those states. Someone elected people in Mississippi. And you in Mississippi elected them, and you told them, I'm electing you to go vote for me, and those people are anti-abortion. So all the feds did, all the Supreme Court did was say, we're going to let the communities decide what's legal and what's not. And I'm completely for states' rights, right? So would you consider me kind of a constitutional purist?
Libertarian, constitutionalist, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a constitutionalist.
Maybe classical liberal.
Classical
people,
liberal?
yeah.
Well, you can't be liberal nowadays.
No,
it's
not. That's not what that
right?
means.
Yeah, I know what
Classical
you're
liberal.
saying.
If somebody,
Exactly.
They're like, what is he talking
Manny,
about?
I'm just curious because you live in a state where that's so funny. Andrew Mills says, we have the internet now, we can represent ourselves. No, I don't think so. But that's a different argument. Manny, what's it like in New York right now? You guys just had an overturned sort of concealed carry situation going on. You as a lawyer, this must be like, are you fascinated by the Supreme Court? I mean, do you listen to this stuff and go, because you lawyers are trained to think a certain way, and I almost wish everyone had. I actually thought about starting a nonprofit, an Institute for Logic and Critical Thinking, because I just want people to think critical and logical. And when I went to college, it was actually a course, and philosophy taught you that too. But Manny, you lawyers are taught how to think about this, I think, in a non-emotional way. So what did you think of the way, from a purist perspective, the Supreme Court dealt with it, or do you not even want to go there?
No, it's all good. I'm happy to speak about it. So I'm admitted in the U.S. Supreme Court. I got admitted a couple of years ago, and it was great going down there. And I went down with my family, and I got sworn in. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg spoke to us. I went down with the New York State Bar Association, and it was probably like 90 of us that got sworn in. We're actually in the chamber. I felt like I was in a bit of an aquarium. I'm looking at the justices, and I'm like, are they looking at me? And then they call my name, I stand up, and my right leg starts to jimmy. I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't faint. This would be pretty sad on my, my swearing in. But I got sworn in. It was great. And I met Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I asked her a question. So, we all got sworn in, and then we all went to different breakout rooms. There was probably like 300 of us that had gotten sworn in. And I asked her how, in the world it was then, it was 5 years ago or so, how did she get along with the other justices? She said to me that she thought it was a great question, and she had the utmost respect for Justice Scalia, Antonin Scalia. She was best of friends with him. They would go to dinner with their families. They knew, respectively, their husbands, the husbands and the wives of the other justices. And in particular, Scalia was very close with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And, their relationship is pretty well known. And they had a very cordial relationship where they respected each other. They respected the fact that they disagreed ideologically or they disagreed politically. But nonetheless, they maintained professionalism, and they maintained the fact that they should be cordial and respectful of each other and each other's families. She died. Scalia died. We're in a different world right now. It's pure tribalism, and it's political, right? So you raise a great point. Why is it we're in a situation? Because everything is politicized. The scales of justice, right? When you see the picture, the scales of justice, right? She's blindfolded, holding the scales of justice, right? It's not supposed to be, I'm a conservative, I do this. I'm a liberal, I do that. The judges are supposed to evaluate the cases based upon the the Constitution and the application of the Constitution to the facts in a case before them. Everything is politicized. So we talk about the economy, right? We're politicizing the way to fix the economy because we know we should increase rates higher. But if we do, you know, we're in situations where people have the most debt that they've ever had. So now the credit card rates are going to go up and will piss them off, right? And mortgage rates are going to go up, so it's going to slow the housing market. So we won't do what needs to be done. The Fed is politicized.
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't do what needs to be done because we're worried about some kind of deleterious outcome that can impact the midterms. Everything is political. So yeah, these cases were very significant. Obviously, you know, the case about the carry law in New York was a 100-year law in New York, and obviously, you know, the Dobbs case with regard to Roe v. Wade, tremendously significant. But you know what it's doing is instead of people trying to come together to get some commonality and respect somebody's opinion and point of view, even if you disagree, you got to respect them as a human being. You got to respect them as someone who's your peer. We are just digging in further. And I'm worried. Honestly, I'm worried in places like New York. There's been a lot of protests. I'm worried about maybe protests going into the election, the midterm elections, presidential election in 2024. I'm worried about places like San Francisco. I mean, I'm worried about the entire country where we're not coming together and there's no interest in coming together. We're just digging our heels in and we're going further and further apart.
Well said. I don't even know how I transition out of that because I'm worried about the same things you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Another
well
one,
said.
Manny. Another one came out today. New York State Supreme Court strikes down New York City law, which would have allowed illegal aliens the right to vote in city elections. You saw that one too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know a lot about that case. So New York, similar to I think Los Angeles and San Francisco, allowed non-citizens to have driver's licenses, and then the extension once that happened, by extension they're like, oh, you should be able to vote. So it was only New York City, not New York State, and there was a judge in Staten Island who ruled in favor of the plaintiffs who said this is unconstitutional in accordance with the New York State Constitution and New York City law. My best guess is I think it will be appealed, and I think that the appellate court will rule in favor for non-citizens voting. But that's, you know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but that's my gut on that.
Manny, tell people about what you do a little bit and why a company would use you. Let's do a little selfless plug for you right now.
Oh, thanks. Totally selfless. So I have my own law practice. I have a couple of attorneys that work with me. I'm a traditional capital markets lawyer by trade. So I worked for NASDAQ for like 10 years. I worked on Wall Street in compliance and regulation. Even before I went to law school, I went to law school at night. And probably since 2016, 17, I've been focusing on digital assets and crypto. I felt like I didn't know enough about data and technology. I went back to get my MBA at MIT, got to know a lot of cool people up there, learn a little more about the industry. And I feel like I come at things with a different perspective, and I'm looking to make stuff happen. I want to make deals happen. I want my clients to get stuff done, obviously compliant with the law, compliant with the regulations, but I work with them to try to figure out solutions. And, you know, I know there's a lot of lawyers that always like to say, no, I like to say, you know, wait, let's see how we can make this happen. But it's a trying time. I think we talked about earlier with all these scandals going on, right? What about the stable coin, right? What about Luna? What about that, right? Stable coin is unstable, right? It's antithetical here. What, you know, I put in $1, it's supposed to be worth $1. It shouldn't be worth, you know, pennies on that dollar. How is that stable? What is an algorithmic stable coin? So you are going to see the heavy-handed regulation come in. Why am I bringing that up? Is because we had a time with all these, you had HEREIN Boring, who's tremendous digital currency group, you know, and other these trade associations. They're lobbying on our behalf with the regulatory community. But when stuff like this happens, the SEC, the regulators are going to come up with a tourniquet, and you know we're in no position to tell them, hey, that's too heavy-handed. They're going to say this market's bleeding, and you know now the adults are in the room. You have too many kids running around doing stuff with no regulations covering you. Now the pendulum, Todd, is going to swing in the other way, which is good for me as a lawyer, but I think bad for the industry.
Aren't you? Am I recalling? Don't you have like an MMA Fighting League too?
I love that stuff. I wish I did. I wish I got involved in that, but I love contact sports. I love.
Oh, you're not
UFC.
you're not the lawyer for that MMA fighting thing. I thought they met them through you. No, I guess not. No,
I would like to. If
Yeah.
I'll put it out there if anybody wants to contact me. But I love sports, and I was happy to meet Lee Steinberg, and I signed up for some of his courses. I'd love to do some stuff in that realm too, because I do stuff with NFTs.
Right.
So there's this huge opportunity with regard to sports, contact sports, right? And especially with NFTs doing bundles and whatnot. So I'm all over it.
Huge. Sorry, I was gonna go cover. I have a meme thing. I have a meme thing about that, but I can't find it. Sorry, I kind of messed that up. Oh, that's all right. What'd you think of the Indy 500?
I thought it was tremendous. I never experienced that in my life. I've watched it many times. I think I went to Pocono when I was a kid, but I don't really remember it. Indy was like nothing I'd ever been to. I couldn't believe the number of people that were there, right? I'm used to going to an event, and the more people, the more dangerous it is. I felt very safe, right? I couldn't believe the number of people in the speedway and the number of people outside kind of camping out. It was an event, and literally, I was totally amazed and surprised, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was a very cool thing. I was super impressed with the whole thing.
Yeah, I as you know, I'm a pretty big fan, so it was fun. I had a good time. It was great.
F-16s got me too. Or the F-18s would fly over.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when that happens, you had me right there, no matter what.
All right, guys. So this weekend marks the halfway mark of the year. And if I were a Nile shareholder, which I am, I'd be thinking about Gresham Worldwide and Turn On Green. We talked about them, Gresham merging with Giga. We talked about Turn On Green going public and a special dividend. Those are what's on store for the second half, in my opinion. That's already been disclosed. That's not new information. We're just reminding everyone that those are on the horizon, Jason,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Especially Turn On Green. You saw got a great review. Continues to get good reviews. But this weekend is the Honda 200 at Mid-Ohio. There'll be 13 natural turns, a terrain road course, 80 laps, 180 miles. Bitnow has 2 cars, not 3. The number 20 car, the Bitnow Chevrolet, piloted by Connor Daly. Can you slow down for a second? I just want to read what you're saying. Yep, Earnity's on there, Turn On Green's on there. And we have the number 21 car, the Bitcoin Chevrolet, powered by Bitnow, driven by Renus VK. Our own Crypto Joe, yeah, he was on the nose cone. The 33 only races oval courses. Sorry to correct you there, but we will be at oval. This is, let's roll the clip from Wisconsin, by the way. What a incredible course, Road America. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful course. Love the people at Direct Supply, Bob and his team. Was a great time. Let's roll that. All right, Randy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Greetings.
Are we playing that again? Oh, yeah, let's Sports with Randy here. Randy, I know how much you love being on camera or don't like being on camera. What'd you think?
Oh, about Road America? Oh my God!
You've never
yeah.
been there, right?
That's been on my bucket list for a long time. I mean, that's one of the top 4 or 5 IndyCar tracks you want to ever go to. Man, incredible! I couldn't even cover it all. I mean, we were there 3 days, and I didn't have enough time to really cover everything I wanted to. But
because you're on the pit crew now.
yeah,
You got a helmet, got a fire suit.
yeah,
You're on the pit crew.
yeah,
Now, did you come to dinner?
yeah.
Did you order the steak or not?
No.
Oh,
Dude, I got
God.
the pizza was so killer. The sausage pizza.
Dude.
No, everybody
Lakeside
got the steak. I know.
Lakeside Cafe. On my table, everyone got steak. And your table, only Abby got the steak.
Yeah.
Wow, is that incredible?
Yeah, well, Bree was telling everybody, Bree from Ed Carpenter's team was telling everybody, she knew we were going there, and she told Tori or Abby, one of them, she goes, you got to get the steak. And she was telling everybody about how incredible it was.
What do you think about Mid-Ohio?
I don't like it. For example, I don't like it as much as I like Road America.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sure it'll be a good time and all. But and we need to get a win, hopefully, or a podium here. So hopefully, the team. But they had a test last week in Iowa. Did you hear about the test? They're getting ready for the Iowa race, so they had a test there, and they were just talking about Penske, how good Penske was, dude. And this is what I don't like. It's like they've won. Newgarden's won 3 races. Powers won a race. It's just like it just looks like this is one of those years
Penske's
where
good, man. They're good. Hey, what do
Yeah.
you think? You got 2 races at Iowa, back-to-back, 23rd, 24th.
Mm-hmm.
You got Toronto, Mid-Ohio. You got the St. Louis course. What else you got after that?
Well, Nashville's after
Oh,
Iowa.
Nashville. Yeah,
That's gonna
that's
be
right.
huge.
Nashville's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
And you got Ed Carpenter in 3 more ovals for the year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good second half. Did I already say that? I think it's going to be a good second half of the year.
Yeah.
A lot of bargains there if you're Mr. Market. Randy, you want to cover anything else?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but Firestone opened a performance tire facility in Akron for IndyCar. They're going to be producing all the IndyCar tires there now, and also as well for Indy Lights starting next year. They will produce the tires for Indy Lights now. Cooper tires.
Wow, Cooper's bailing out?
Yeah, Cooper's I guess out now, and Firestone's in there. So
Wow.
they're really pleased in Ohio that they opened this new facility. It's the first new facility opened in 70 years, so it's really good for that town. And also for Firestone, Mario was there at the opening, and they're really excited about
where's it going to be, in Akron?
in Akron.
I was born outside of Cleveland, Cuyahoga
Yeah.
Falls. There you go. I haven't lived there since I was 4. Where were you born? New York, right?
Yep. New York.
And you were born where, Randy? Here?
Yeah, in Anaheim.
You were born in Anaheim, but you lived in Wisconsin?
Anaheim, California, then moved to Arizona, then moved to Wisconsin, and then back to California.
What's going on with F1?
Out to Las Vegas.
What's going on with F1?
We got Silverstone this weekend. That'll be a good race. Mercedes seems to think that they've got their situation turned around. In Canada, they weren't bouncing around so much, I guess, and that was really good. I don't know if you saw the qualifying. Alonso put it on the front row. I knew he wasn't going to be able to hang in the race.
No way, really?
Yeah. Well, it was a rain. It was raining during the qualifying, so
Right.
he did a really great job. But it just goes to show anybody who thinks like Lewis Hamilton's the greatest. Okay, I understand that, but if you put Fernando Alonso in one of these top flight cars, he's going to challenge any of these guys or beat them. I mean,
But you can't deny one thing.
what?
Indy's more competitive than F1.
Oh, for sure.
Any team can win there. They're neck and neck in terms of competition.
For
It's
sure.
a more competitive sport than F1. And F1, if you're not in Red Bull, Mercedes, or Ferrari,
Right.
the chances are pretty low.
Right, so it's funny that they got so many fans watch it worldwide, but how can you be excited every week? Right, like you say, I'm a McLaren fan. I've been bummed out for years, dude. They don't do anything. It's like,
Right.
they're going to finish maybe 8th, 10th, or if they get a miracle, they'll be in the top 5, but yeah.
Mark,
it's
let's
exciting.
Mark Barton. Why can't we discuss the current state of the company? What company, Mark? Do you watch this show? This is a risk-on show. It's not about BitNile. This show is not about BitNile. I commentary on it all the time, and the state of the company comes out when we report our quarterly numbers, which were great last quarter. No one cares. I care. Nobody cares. So, Mark, this is not a show for BitNile, and in fact, I actually said earlier that I wouldn't even discuss it anymore, and I've already violated that because so many people ask me questions. I'm not a jerk. But you don't care about the state of the company. If you did, that company wouldn't be trading for $100 million with $550 million in assets. You wouldn't be saying nonsense like stop using the ATM. You guys are like not even making any sense. Like I can't even comment anymore how asinine the comments are. I told everyone there are no plans for a reverse split. We're not putting on the proxy. We're not looking to reverse the company. Why would I do that? When it happened in 17 and 18, it was a crisis because of Bitcoin, and we were a very small company. Now we're $500 million in assets or bigger. We own 5 or 6 other public companies. We said we do 155 million this year. What are we going to do next year? What do you want me to say? There's nothing to say. Okay? There's nothing to say about what? No one cares. You guys don't care. The people that care, and they own the company. The people that don't trade it. When I look at the trading sheets and I see billions of dollars of the stock flipping over, everyone's just trading it. I'm a buyer, and we told people for years we were going to raise money in every single filing, and I still get shit from the shareholders about it. And we said we were going to do this. We said we were going to grow the assets. So anybody who follows this, if you just read the filings, you know the state of the company. The company's in the best shape it's been in years, and the stock sucks. That's it. I just discussed the state of the company. I hope you're happy now. Anyways, Mark, I apologize. You didn't deserve that rant. That rant was actually just sent to anyone that gives me grief. You are not the guy, Mark, and I apologize to you. What? What?
No, Mark Martin. Actually, Todd doesn't like
Martin.
NASCAR, so that's why he's ripping Mark Martin.
No, but that wasn't very nice. And that's not true. I do like NASCAR. Mark Martin, you did not do anything wrong. I apologize to you. I'm a terrorist sometimes, and so sometimes I get on a rant. Skyla, speaking of rant, do I get on a rant once in a while?
Yes.
But
Sure
Skyla,
do.
you're related to me, so how do you deal with those rants?
You just gotta stay calm. Like, bring the energy level down. Because if someone else brings the energy level up, you're just bringing it higher.
That's
like,
right.
It's not smart.
I'm a
Just-
lunatic.
just
Mark, it's not your
calm it
fault,
down.
buddy.
Yeah.
Not your fault. Logan James, I love you. You know that. And Mark, I'm sure you're a wonderful guy. And if you want to go to any indie race, come on me. I ended that rant. Sorry about that. Skyla, we're gonna say bye to Manny in a second, but give me something funny.
Why is it beneficial to rub ketchup in your eyes?
Why?
Because it gives you hindsight.
Oh,
Hindsight.
that's a dad joke.
Hindsight? Yes.
Hindsight.
Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good.
Manny, I bet you didn't know that was going to be said on your show today.
No, this is definitely memorable. Absolutely.
Sorry, buddy.
That seems like a setup.
Yeah. Manny,
No.
what are your thoughts on what you'd be doing in Bitcoin and crypto? Kind of like, obviously, we're not going to give financial advice. Everybody consult your financial advisor. Manny is a lawyer. He's not a banker or a broker. He's not a financial advisor. But Manny, I just want to get your opinion on your thoughts of the state of crypto and specifically Bitcoin, if you can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I met with someone during NFT NYC last week who is an OG in Bitcoin, and someone I've known for many years. And we had dinner over this. And essentially, his take was, look, the market's volatile. It's going to be volatile, but he doesn't think really it's going to get much lower. Even if it does, if you dollar cost average in, it's worth it, right? He's bullish long term. He's not a hodler. He's not one of these unreasonable people. If it hits a certain valuation, he feels like he made money, he sells it, and he'll buy on a dip. I mean, obviously, like you said, this is an investment advice, but this could be a historic time to buy. But dollar cost average in terms of like, and you can't look at your phone every 2 seconds. I mean, that just becomes like an addiction, and I'm probably guilty of that addiction. But at the end of the day, I think if you go into the market slowly, I think it's worth it, right? I mean, Scaramucci just filed today, or at least announced that they're going to file for another spot Bitcoin ETF.
Mm-hmm.
So Scaramucci's very bullish on the market. Clearly Michael Saylor. I mean, you have these people that still maintain their perspective that Bitcoin's going to go up and go up to 100 grand or whatever. It might be delayed. Even CZ from Binance talking about maybe we'll move sideways, up and down and sideways for a couple of years, but ultimately it's definitely the asset in the space to hold and own.
Anthony Scaramucci, he was at the RiskOn conference. You're going to see a nice video coming out about him at the conference. I encourage everyone to watch the videos. We're going to release them one by one. I don't know what day they're coming out, but the conference was great. Anthony was great. We're going to be hearing more from Anthony Scaramucci. He's a friend of the show, and he texted me Happy Father's Day.
Nice.
So I felt impressed. Like, wow,
Nice.
the former well, anyways, it doesn't matter what he's from, Rob. I love the guy. I follow him, and I wish him luck. I hope the ETF gets approved. I'm a big fan of his.
Absolutely.
Jason, you want to wrap up? Anything on your mind before we wrap up?
Not a whole lot, except the Yankees are minus 300 tonight against the A's.
Ooh.
Jordan Montgomery
What does
against
that
Paul
mean?
Blackbird.
What does that mean?
You got to bet 300 to win 100.
So do you take the A's then?
Yeah, it's a no-better. You take the A's. You just never pay that much juice. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. They're crushing right now. I mean, Judge is out of this world. But you can't pay minus 300 for Jordan Montgomery. I wouldn't even pay minus 300 for Nolan Ryan. I mean, it's just outrageous.
So you wouldn't bet, or you'd take the A's?
I have to look at the lineups and just look at the weather and the bullpen usage. But I'd consider a bet on the A's. I would not consider a bet on the Yankees.
Now, I know that we started off the show years ago, I could say years ago now, where we had a Risk on Sports, and Jason crushed it, just crushed it. But he bitched the entire time that it was a lot of work. He bitched, even though he was making people money like crazy. Bitch. But you are a great handicapper when it comes to baseball.
Yeah, baseball's great. So much analytics involved. Big thought process. It's all about the process in baseball. When you're handicapping each game, it's all about the process. You can shorten it up. Like if you just wanted to do stuff by looking at.
So is that a pick 'em though? If you bet 300 on them, does that mean if they win, they win, or you get any runs?
Well, here, let me.
Are they giving up any runs?
No, they just have to win the game.
Oh.
Nick, let me show them this real quick, and then we'll end the show. So right here in the middle of my screen, you got Oakland Athletics, Paul Blackburn on the mound against the New York Yankees. Jordan Montgomery, the lefty, very good lefty. They're at Yankee Stadium. So right now, here's the current odds. So if you look at this, the average is about minus 278. You can find the line. That's probably at Wynn Sportsbook. No, DraftKings. So you bet $278, and the Yankees win. They reward you with a $100 bill. So the odds really aren't that great.
If the Angels win or A's win, you get 245.
Yeah, 255. If I can bet 100 on the A's and they pull it out, they'll pay us 255. So 355 total. They'll return the.
But what about the run side of it? Like if you took the
the run line.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are other alternative bets where you could bet the Yankees will win by more than 1.5 runs. But that line probably is going to be about minus 180.
So what's the A's getting in terms of runs? They're probably giving some, right?
Nope. It's in baseball. It's just a money line bet. You're just betting money line, kind of like you do in football.
I think you bet the runs.
You can bet the runs, but it's an alternative betting line. Here's what you look at mainly. This is the public lines that people look at. So this right now is.
Yes, it says right here, maybe A's plus 2.5 runs.
Yeah, you can bet that, but I mean, what's the number on it?
It says 2.5. Oh, I don't know. I don't know the amount.
Yeah, I mean those are alternative run lines.
What do you think of the single game parlays?
Like you're just talking about totals and then the team to win.
Yeah, or you could just make up your own parlay. Within that one game.
I see what you're saying. So you could take like the Yankees, and then we could look down here and maybe pair them with, the Cardinals. Wainwright tonight minus 127. Sure, to get the odds and better in your favor.
Come on, Mark. Mark, I apologize to you.
I like those.
Mark, I did apologize. You said I publicly shamed him.
Manny, I don't like.
All right, Mark, how can I make it up to you?
More than two.
Mark, I'm going to
two
send
teams,
you a
though.
BitNile jersey, BitNile Indy jersey. Mark, do me a favor. Email Randy at Alt Alliance. I will send you a BitNile or Bitcoin jersey. They're like $200. It's my treat to you. I'm sorry, buddy. Mark Martin, email Randy at Alt Alliance, and I will send you a free jersey. Hopefully, I made that up to you. Sorry. That wasn't very nice of me. Everybody, this is Risk On. This is a 231 episode of Risk On. We've been at this a while now, like we're on our second year. Special thanks to Skyla and Randy, Christy, our producer, who's getting healthier now over COVID. Thank God for her. Nick and Brett, my friend Jason Bartholomew, Manny, the lawyer from New York City. We're going to have him on. I enjoyed talking to Manny. Manny, I didn't know Manny could practice in front of the Supreme Court, so now we got a friend.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Manny, I hope you will take an invitation to attend a special night. There'll be a special guest. It'll be one night only at the new La Fouquet Tribeca, the hotel that is owned partially by BitNile subsidiary. La Fouquet is the first time La Fouquet's come to the United States, one of the nicest hotels ever made, and you will have a special invitation. I need to piss off Todd so I can get a jersey too. Andrew Mills, if you email, I'll give you one too, buddy. I got to get off the air quickly, or
Yeah,
I'll be giving
right.
more
Yeah, right.
changes
Get
away,
off.
right? Anyways, I appreciate everybody. Manny, special thanks to you guys. It's episode 231. I think we're going to try to be back on Friday. Jason and I will be at Mid-Ohio. If you want to go to Mid-Ohio, if you're going to be in Mid-Ohio, I'm not giving you hotel rooms, but if you're going to be at Mid-Ohio and you want to go and you want tickets, email Randy at Ault Alliance in the next hour.
Oops.
It is 2:16 Pacific time, so let's go to 2:17. By 3:17 Pacific time, if you email Randy at Ault Alliance, we will get you pit passes. We will get you a tour of the pit. We will get you good seats in Mid-Ohio. Check out the race, the Indy 200, the Honda Indy 200. Everybody, thank you for being here. Risk on, everybody. We'll see you Friday. Take care, everyone. Be well.